count this down. Last round of round 0.
Here we
is
go.
Everyone ready? And 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Time. And hopefully you'll keep being in that seat. Oh, they're gonna do a restart. Maybe the seeds were not.
Probably not the same.
Yeah, I see some variance in the set there and the color distribution.
Man, so. Can't bring these guys anywhere, man.
It's like, come on, after getting your controller all straight,
come on, man.
Oh, man. Bendy with a precarious mischief up on top. Probably have to clean that off. Oh.
Yeah. Now our seeds are looking the same at the top.
Okay,
they have begun game number 1.
Yeah, so just a little bit of delay, but yeah. Looking to get a good match there. Jake ready to get a Tetris 1 off the bottom.
Yeah, and of course, as mentioned, these two at the bottom are one. They played once lifetime. It was back in May, so just last month, where Shake was victorious over Bendy in the community tier 1 tournament over at Classic Tetris Monthly, the online tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And so certainly some history there. Certainly I'm sure Bendy would look to get some vengeance here. As you can see, we were asking about the play style earlier. It's tapping all the way.
Yeah. No, it's good to see that again. Some variance in the play style. We had that one DAS player, Salted Sofa earlier, and now we've got the one tapper Bendy, and then TetrisTime being a former tapper. So some former and current tappers on the right. I'm still technically a tapper, even though I know at some point I have to learn rolling, but I relate to it.
Yeah. And of course, certainly, as I said, Bendy was the silver bracket champion last year, and now it's crazy. It's crazy to see. Well, first of all, it's crazy to see tapping in this tournament in general, because really, everybody's got to talk like, oh, DAS is dead, right? Because rolling exists now, and now DAS is just whatever. But really, there's been this resurgence, right, in a lot of these DAS events. We got the Jonas Neubauer Cup coming up in this October at the Portland Retro Gaming Expo. And tapping is really like the Reapers skipped DAS and pretty much went to tapping instead.
Well,
right?
it's mainly because the people who were great at tapping became rollers.
Yeah.
But a lot of DAS players stayed DAS players.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I still think that there should be a Thor Ackerland tapping cup at some point. So I have something to enter or something if I don't learn rolling fast enough.
I think that would be entertaining.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, because really, honestly, the 29 play with tapping is almost more entertaining to me than with rolling,
I remember when Joseph Saley would do it, and we'd see him get in the mid-30s. There's just something
and you can see the rapid hand movements, just
and
fighting for their life.
We could get Corian to come out to that, be a special guest or something. That'd be kind of cool.
That would be cool. Of course, what I'm sure is also cool for our players and our fans is score check here. We're at the top, 253 to 255. It is Eric with the lead. On the bottom, 309 Bendy, 213 Shake. So it is, of course, Bendy with the just south of 100,000 point lead.
Yeah, strong game by Bendy here. We've already seen some great solves. Just keeping that play field clear. 330,000 points. Halfway to transition, right? For a tapper, that's some strong stuff.
That really is. Of course, we are more than halfway to the 19 transition for all 4 of our players. We're about halfway there.
Yep.
Of course, they're just keeping it clean. These 4 players are really doing good things. Of course, ICX there with the line spin that you saw a moment ago. Somebody called Van Weller, right?
Yep. Setting up some multiple tucks there.
Oh, dirty
nice
Tetris
spin by Eric there. Boom, Tetris for Eric. 330.
Yeah, it's crazy. Both of these two on such a high efficiency right now, over 80%, almost 90 for Tetris time.
And they had a slightly later start than the bottom match because of the restart. So, the fact that they're on pace with the game that started sooner, before theirs, that's some great pace there.
Yeah. Ooh, hang of a T there from Tetris time. He's going to have to try and
opens
break
it up.
This down. There we go. There's the Tetris.
That's a little bit of digging. This is going to allow Eric to catch up here.
Yeah, and of course, for Tetris time, right? As mentioned, he was a 3-time regional winner this year in 2025, and before that though, was always kind of this volatile player for sure, right? He's back in his tapping days. He was considered a pretty fast tapper.
Yeah,
in that
I remember there was a catchphrase for it. It was Tetris time doing Tetris time things.
Yeah.
And it's just that was a simplified version of saying he got himself into some crazy trouble and he had to get himself out of it.
Yeah.
But the fact that he had to get himself out of it and could survive a lot of the times, that makes him legendary.
Yeah, and that was honestly, it crazy watching back in 2021, the second, online year of this tournament, where he was able to make top 8.
One of those top 8 just out of nowhere.
Yeah,
and
it defeated Fractal to get there.
Wow.
So that was always crazy to watch. At that time, I remember I was kind of VC with some people on Discord. And we're like, what just happened?
And that was in the tapping era. So we have a new reinvented TetrisTime with a rolling power now. How far will TetrisTime take this? Because even just last year, it still had the table.
Yeah, but hey, I'm sure if you're TT, I'm sure you're happy. It's one less thing you got to get through CSA.
That's
right?
true. Yep. Less equipment burden, pack something else or something.
Yeah. But of course, we're at transition on the bottom. Shake will get there first at 383. At a Tetris, go to 407.
TT way up on the board.
Yeah, this is another well, maybe no, this isn't quite TT doing TT things, but he is up pretty high.
Compared to the rest of what we've seen today, it's still pretty nail biting. Okay, yeah, TT get it back open. And boom, Tetris for TetrisTime, 496.
Yeah.
Lost a little bit of efficiency there, but
and has lost the lead as well.
Yeah.
As he will transition at 499. Eric with about a 2 Tetris lead. Meanwhile, at the bottom here, it is Bendy with a 5.5 Tetris lead. Add a Tetris, bring that.
Bendy running away with it as a tapper.
Oh, man, Shake trying to fight his way out. There's just a couple rolls off the top, and it's going to hang the J.
Still needs the right pieces.
No!
Shake's going to top out. Bendy in the lead. That it's kind of a little disappointing. We won't get to see how that pace will end up. But, yeah, Bendy with 200,000 points at the end takes the first round.
Nicely done there from Bendy. And, of course, no time to waste. We're here at the top. We got TetrisTime back by about 2.5, 3 Tetrises.
Yeah, TetrisTime having to do some burns there. This is going to allow EricICX to maintain this lead. Eric being so clean this game.
Yeah, of course, the former world champ just trying to find these burns here. He's doing a good job. There's the long bar there.
Yep, just out of it, just like that.
Yep, now he's taking the burns there. Meanwhile, TT having some burns as well, so really isn't able to capitalize on the burning from Eric's side.
And then, yeah, Eric opening up right in time, gets that Tetris, and, yeah, stays clean.
Oh, he's going to set this up. Here's TT doing some TT things. He's setting this up, man.
There it is.
There we go. Bump Tetris.
Dirty Tetris for TetrisTime.
Man. Yeah, I was waiting for it this whole game. Like, where is it?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, slight hang there from TT. He's going to... Oh, no, did not go for the T-spin or just missed it. Regardless, it didn't happen. So now he's going to have to find a good flat burn there like he just did.
Yeah, so here's that survival. TetrisTime doing TetrisTime things, getting himself out of trouble like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, and again.
You want to see big digs? Here we go.
Yeah, absolutely. There we go.
Boom! Dirty Tetris for TetrisTime. Does not disappoint.
And not at all. We are fast approaching level 29. We got a few levels left to go. And it is EricICX with about a 2.25 Tetris lead, right? And of course, they're behind in lines as well.
Yeah.
So certainly more runway here for Eric to try and score points before we reach level 29, even 39.
That's a big drought, but Eric keeping it cool and is able to cash it in at the end.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, these two have both just been so good. What a game one to open.
Oh, no kidding.
This block of the round 0 matchups, this final block.
But yeah, if it's going to be one time, TetrisTime is going to key in and keep things clean. Level 29 is approaching, and he's gotten the board clean. It's back down and manageable, and he's managed to keep Eric's lead not too far away.
Yeah, there we go. Tetris for TT, Tetris for Eric.
Yeah, for a moment, we were neck and neck.
Yeah, and you got to remember, Eric behind in
lines. The lines are still a factor.
So we'll see what happens as we get to level 29 here. TetrisTime will get there with the Tetris, 920 his score. He has the real-time lead.
Yep. Okay, but wants to get that board back under control.
Yeah, he knows Eric has the ability to catch up and will take the lead right there.
Eric being one of those players that, the reason why we have super kill screen is there's that one CTWC where they didn't, and they just kept playing and playing and playing. And that's going to be a factor here going into the 29 speed.
Yeah, of course, we do have the max out on Eric's side. They are racing along here on level 29. 947 the score for TetrisTime as he is on level 31. So, again, has less time. Has got to get himself set up here at some point. Obviously, you want to kind of get a feel for the speed.
Eric's left side looks bad.
Oh,
it's
that's
going to
not
take
good.
multiple long bars to fill that. I don't know if it's possible.
Oh, it
That's not
doesn't show
survivable.
up.
So here we go. Tetris Time has a chase down situation. Is CT1 cursed or not? We will see. Can Tetris Time complete this chase down? Boom, Tetris for Tetris
There's the
Time.
max out.
Maxed out. And one Tetris to go and change.
Yeah, 1 and change here is in a good position right now. And yeah, you can see he's playing.
Oh, got the
for
flat
a
burn.
save.
It's just
Oh,
so
man.
close here.
Yeah, we're on level 34, so still a few levels left. Definitely, you know, if he can
Tetris
take
Time
some larger burns.
looking to break the curse of CT1.
Oh, is he going for this? Oh, no way. Oh my God, give it to him. Give it to him. Give it to him.
Takes a double.
There's no bar.
Takes a double. Where's
Oh
the
my
bar?
God. There's no bar.
Where's
There's
the
no
bar?
bar.
Oh my goodness!
Oh my
CT1
God.
is officially cursed. Does
What
not
in the
complete the
world?
chase down.
He set that up at level 34. Only
He
had
was
a few
playing
burns.
it safe. He was totally within possibility, and it just wouldn't give the bar.
Wow. Man, just did not. Wow, that's crazy. Was burning and burning, and then was like, you know, I'm going to set this up. And man, did the game make him pay for that.
Yeah, so maybe don't go for a chase down on CT1. Because that was, he could just, I don't know, man. I'm gonna go cry in my hotel room after this.
Oh my gosh. Well, a couple players who are not going to hide in their hide and cry in their hotel room after this. Well, hopefully, Bendy and Shake.
Bendy and
right?
Shake ongoing here, neck and neck.
Yeah, you can even see the neck there. Thank
Yep.
you, cameraman. All right, who's over there right now? Yeah, thank you for that. That's
Yeah, 63%, 64% Tetris rate. Hi, James Chen. And going in, about 30 lines to go to transition. So
yeah, looking pretty good
yeah,
here.
this is
And
a close game.
Yeah,
compared to
and,
the last, where with the tapper running away with it. Not this time.
Yeah, because Shake really, just had a lot of burning that he had to do on the 18 speed, and that was really what allowed Bendy to build, just absolutely take advantage. And meanwhile, we have started game number 2 up on the top.
But yeah, that was still, highly competitive. No matter whether it was a chase down or not, like both players, really showing, putting on a show for us there with that performance.
Yeah, no, it's been, again, these have all been very good matches. This one, no exception, as Shake's going to take the lead here with that Tetris, as Bendy's now in a bit of a burn sequence right now, and this is not the time for this. With 10 lines before transition, certainly can make some good maneuvers as a tapper, but, certainly it's not where you want to be halfway up the board.
Good solves.
Nice, there we go.
Got that open in a hurry, and it's still only half Tetris behind, so Shake not really able to capitalize huge off of that.
Yeah, it's 538 to 504. It is Shake with the lead right now. And we'll see if he can hang on to this, maybe tie this series up.
Bendy taking a triple off the top there. Yeah, they're both looking for a long bar there. There's a mini drought there. Bendy and Shake being able to cash that in.
Yeah, and there we go. Shake is keeping this clean. He's just got to maintain this level of efficiency, really, right? Because it's been basically the same as Bendy ever since the 19 transition.
Yeah.
Every Tetris that's been scored, the other player has got one too.
Super close game, right? And they're both like right at the same, lines and efficiency pretty much. Up on top, Tetris Time building up high, bang down that Tetris is ahead by 3.
Yeah, here we go. Tetris Bendy with 617. So again, we are just racing along to level 29, and I'm going to be really curious to see how this goes here once we get there, right? Because again, the first game, it ended pretty early post 19, right? So we didn't really get to see the full showcase of these two's abilities there, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to be really excited to see, with Bendy tap, how much 29 can he play?
Will we see a tapper, get into the mid-30s, back like in the old days with Joseph Saley?
Joseph Saley, yeah. Could it happen? We'll have to see. But again, it is still Shake just barely hanging on to this real-time lead.
We're neck and neck.
Yeah.
And Bendy taking a dirty triple there, opening it back up. Both boards clean. Boom Tetris for Bendy. Boom Tetris for Shake. 743 to 717.
Yeah, and again, it's just, man, these two are just putting all the pressure on, man. Just every time, no player is even giving an inch right now.
No, this is a good one. Back and forth they go. Just neck and neck scores right now. And level 29 impending. Eric way up on the board there. 43-piece drought, 44, 45, 46. Wow. And Eric hanging on to that and able to cash in the Tetris even after a huge drought like that. And TetrisTime also in good position, being able to burn off the top and keep it open, maintaining that efficiency even through a huge drought. Boom, Tetris for TetrisTime. 316, 90,000 point lead. Now 5 Tetrises ahead.
Yeah, as they're getting ready to get to that 19 transition at about 50 lines here. But meanwhile, at the bottom, we're at level 26 here. We have level 29 fast approaching.
Yep,
it is still neck and neck.
Yep.
And it is coming down to the wire, Chris.
Yep. Very, very equal match. I mean, despite the seed differential, Bendy at 22, Shake at 43 seed, so close.
Yeah, again, this is the World Championship. This is where legends are born, right? And anything can happen.
Yeah. Okay. You want to get your board back into shape or keep it in shape when you're, within 10 lines of level 29 speed. We saw some boards fall apart earlier.
Yeah, and again, it's something we've seen quite a bit on the 29, and it's bound to happen, right? Is it being such a fast speed?
Here we go. One line left for Bendy, and yeah, here we go. Shake, hitting 29 speed.
Nice talk.
Okay, here we go. Bendy also, so both players on the bottom.
Yeah, here we go. Shake is just getting dialed in here. Oh, missed a J!
Shake, board spiraled out of control. It's going to top out there.
Bendy's on level 30.
Slight, so a tapper now, having a chase down situation. 14,000 points to go. Could this be the chase down?
Oh my God.
With a tapper. Is it going to take a tapper to break the curse?
We're at level 31. Just a few lines left.
We are seeing.
Oh man, that last time.
Wow,
okay, he
got the square over
the left.
Wow, the chase down. Bendy the tapper completing the chase down on CT1. The curse has been broken.
Oh my God. It's happened. It has finally happened. Oh, my word.
It took a tapper to do it. I love it. Oh, TetrisTime doing TetrisTime things. What is that?
Shake his head at that.
The board is agape. His mouth is just screaming right now. That hole. That is just levitation of Minos there.
Man, and Bendy made it to 33, man.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Do not underestimate. Tapping's not dead.
Yeah.
It's 2025 and tapping's not dead. I'm so happy.
Oh, man. We've transitioned up to the top. Eric 477 at level 20. TetrisTime about 10 lines back at 542. So he is looking to even this one up at 1 game apiece.
TetrisTime doing a screen look there and seeing he's ahead by quite a bit here. And yeah, Eric having to burn off the top there. Still in great shape though. Good board there for EricICX. Former world champion on our stage here on CT1.
Yeah, I know. Man, what a match. Yeah, of course, TT was doing some TT things. But, but the fact that, he's the one person that I think, if given these situations that he puts himself in, is probably the only person I can think of that be able to survive them.
No, I know. It's like you see a board
situation.
Like, whose board could that be? And then it's like, they survived somehow. It must have been TetrisTime.
Yeah, you're like, oh, it's TT. Yeah, honestly, it'd be crazy to get some sort of somebody had brought up to me at one point. I forget who, but what if we had some sort of game show where it's like, hey, guess who stack this is, right?
Guess the stacker. Yeah, that'd be fun. That would actually be pretty cool.
Yeah, his would probably be the easiest to guess.
Yep.
Oh man.
Oh. Okay. So that's the game.
Yeah, we're on level 23 and 24, of course, for TT and for Eric, respectively. Add a touch for TetrisTime. He will maintain just south of a two Tetris lead. As we have begun game number 3 at the bottom, it is Shake on his last life here, and Bendy with the win can advance to the next round.
Yeah, so this is critical here. Shake wanting to win this round, stay in the match, and Bendy breaking that curse of the chase down.
Yeah, that's good. All right, so here we go. We got 29 approaching here at the top. Just a few levels here. Again, this TetrisTime just trying to hang on to the lead. Mm-hmm. And, and the thing is, we didn't really get too much into the 29. Well, we did a little bit, actually. TetrisTime did not get the chase down. But, contrary to, that match, right, that game, right, certainly his 29 has been just phenomenal. It's been just these last few months has really, he's really upped his game on 29.
Yeah. And in ordinary circumstances, that would have been a successful chase down. It's just...
It just
you had to be in it for a long time, and then until until the curse was broken, I guess. You
Yeah,
know, we'll see if that holds.
Yeah, so if he has to do a chase down and completes it, right, he could thank Bendy for that, right?
Yep.
He's like, oh, man. So here we go. We're on level 27 for Tetris time. Level 28
Yeah, we're about
for
to
Eric.
go into that speed. They're neck and neck going into it.
Oh, man, it is neck and neck.
Oh,
with
wow.
time.
Eric's
Eric
up
barely
so
gets
high
that
on there.
over.
Eric is still playing super aggressive. Okay,
It gets the
wow.
Tetris.
That was risky. Like, it was just right on. You don't want your long bar to get hung there.
Yeah, that you don't. And, of course, Tetris time is maxed out. We got 6 lines to go on his side.
He needs to get that board under control, too. Because he's
Yeah.
only a couple lines away. Okay, long
there
bar
we
did
go.
come from
Tetris.
Tetris time. Is still in the lead now by a little bit more than 2 Tetrises.
Yeah, we are racing along. Fast and furious here on level 29.
Some traffic on the board for Eric. Would love some better pieces to take care of that. Covers
Man,
it up.
oh,
That
no.
left side's dead. And it looks like Tetris time might take this round and even it up.
And he
1-1.
Nicely done.
The fist
Coming
bump.
down to it right at the end. So we are tied 1-1 at the top.
Oh, man, I love that camera alignment where Tetris time and EricICX did a fist bump, and then their Tetris boards were like right there.
Oh, man. So there you go. That is game number 2 concluded at the top. Meanwhile, at the bottom, it is 2-0 for Bendy. With a win, will advance to the next round if he could take this shake, looking to keep his hopes and dreams alive. And, you know, of course, honestly, after seeing that last game, I mean, that's
Pretty close.
That is the 4th most lines with tap in CTWC history.
Oh,
like, you know,
interesting.
like last year, you know, we saw a couple good runs from like Koster and from Dylan, you know, making it to level 30, and they both had their double 1.3 match with tap, right? But you know, Bendy, at least in terms of lines, is having himself a pretty good run here himself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, this is definitely one for the highlight reel.
Yeah, absolutely. There we go. Tetris Bendy here. We'll go to 216. Score for Shake is 240, so it is, you know, and again, Shake's been able to hold on to some leads on the 18 speeds, but just has not been able to capitalize on, like, you know, in this past case, level 19 and the 29 in the last game, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, had that one misshot of a J, and it just threw everything off. And that's really what it comes down to as well. When you're trying to play on 29, you know, you have a millisecond to make a decision, but also, you know, if you make a mistake, you're not expecting you're going to make a mistake. So when you do, it could throw off your timing.
Yeah,
like,
you got to
when
adapt
you gotta move
on the
next
fly.
piece,
Yep.
you know,
and be prepared to get yourself out of that. And you know, that's what we're seeing here. If you're able to survive, then it's more than just, you know, when a mistake does happen, can you deal with it? And then that can determine whether or not you can chase down or not. Especially when, you know, they're playing low to the ground and you think that they've got it in the bag.
Yeah.
And then they don't.
Yeah, then something happens, something throws them off, and you know, that's, you know, that's what being human beings like, I guess, right? So.
Okay, Shake looking for column 5 here. Being versatile. Long bar not coming, but is able to burn off that triple off the top.
Yeah,
And
he's
they'll-
maintaining this well, pretty, no pun intended, but very well.
Oh, yeah.
right?
Excellent for, and yeah, set up for another Tetris even. Gets it. Boom. Tetris for Shake. You know, more column 5 action, giving the rest of the board some love here. You love to see it.
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, these are some good-looking stacks right now. You know, Bendy playing one off the bottom.
Yeah.
You know, and everyone else just
Take
crystal clean.
Yeah, the situation as it comes and be versatile and make those Tetrises wherever you can.
Yeah, and of course, you know, in the case of Bendy too, right? You know, it's kind of, you know, based on what we're seeing with the tapping speeds, right? Like we saw, you know, again on 29 that last game,
Yeah.
you know, and honestly, just in general, you know, kind of, you know, up there with some of like the old like tapping legends, you know, like Alex T, you know, who really like when rolling was starting to become a big thing. Alex T stuck with tapping for quite some time, was able to get, you know, 1.5 and, you know, really high scores with tap on 29, and you know, and of course people like him and people like Mark, right? You know, from Germany there, you know, who tend to be pretty fast tappers. But oh, hang on, let me hold that thought because Tetris time is in a bit of a bind here at the top.
Yeah, we might see another fun dig. Okay, that wasn't too bad.
Yeah, that was
Get off the board.
Yeah, it's really a question.
It's
Like,
not.
okay, how entertaining is each of these digs gonna be? Like, we got to get a tier list.
We need
going.
like a dig rating.
Oh man.
Rate my dig. .com.
Oh, .com. Oh man, we're in transition at the bottom. 456 for Shake, 419 for Bendy. Oh man, so kind of a lower scoring game here at the bottom,
Yeah,
you know, from what
it's,
you'd expect for some of the, you know, top level players. But you
Playing
know,
it safe. I'm not seeing, you know, super high towers or anything like that. Nothing too risky. So I think it has to do with, you know, they know what's on the line here and don't want to push it too far.
Yeah, and the fact that it's both of them too, right? Perhaps both having similar struggle with certain points of the piece sequences, or kind of just what I mean, getting into like similar amounts of digs.
Yeah, and I'm actually I kind of want Shake to push Bendy so I can see more level 29 tapping.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but Eric up at the top is in some trouble here.
Wow, that's so high, so aggressive. Needs long bars to get that open. Doesn't come at the right time though.
But it's finding alternate burns that are working out here.
Yeah, this is a masterful dig from ICX here. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Oh, is that going to be a spin?
Oh, boy.
Needs the right piece to... Okay, gets the long bar. Boom! Tetris EricICX. That was critical.
Yeah, that was much needed. Still not out of the woods, though. And there we go. Now we're getting the long bar. Now, got to be feeling a bit better now.
Yeah. But TetrisTime, meanwhile, has opened up a huge lead now. Up 6.5 Tetrises.
Yeah, and of course, at the bottom, we are still racing along on the 19. Bendy with a misdrop at the square. And is down by over 100,000 points, almost 150,000 points.
Yeah, so Shake really opening up a lead here in the level 19 speeds. Sometimes you see that. You see the players just really turn it on. And that's because, Bendy losing some efficiency with all these burns. But it's building up here. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, takes the triple off top. That's exactly what you need to do. Keeps it clean.
Oh, those says, wow, barely got the long bar over. That was not a friendly set of S pieces, but Shake in some trouble here up at the top.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And Eric tops out at 353.
Yeah, early top out there. TetrisTime takes that round, already, with a massive lead. So, wow, just like that. I mean, we saw some trouble on the bottom. Our attention shifted.
And Shake tops out at 716. So Bendy with the chase down.
So, yeah,
if he can chase this down, he can advance to the next round.
But 29 is like around the corner. He can Tetris this and end it now. So, yeah, it looks like he's in a good position to do that. Needs one more long bar to play it safe too. But one more.
Man, gets him too early. He's like, all right, I'm going to take the burn.
If you've seen his tapping on, the being successful. Oh, there's that tapping. Thanks, Tech, for getting that on the screen.
Yeah. Thanks, Eric.
And there it is.
There we go.
And taking that, I think, in our first sweep here on CT1.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that was Bendy, a tapper sweeping here.
Just too strong, man. That's
amazing.
Certainly a valiant effort there from Shake. Definitely,
but
put up some good action there.
Yeah, Shake got a good game in, and but Bendy with that massive comeback at the end with the level 29 tapping. No one would see that coming.
Yeah, and oh boy, we have a tech issue at the top.
Sleepgate or whatever.
Oh my God.
The sleep timer on TV. Okay, we got a thumbs up from TT.
Yeah, so they're gonna get started. There we go. Now we are underway. Game 4.
Yep.
Man, Sleepgate. What a not even a deep cut.
If you've
but
been
just
around,
old school.
the lore, right? Back in Portland, back in the day, back when Jeff could take a title if you want, if things panned out differently. There was Sleepgate.
Yeah, man. Of course,
we're on. All of our stage monitors are now PVM CRTs.
Yeah,
so no more sleep timers.
Yeah, when I saw that Barrett had said, "Hey, so we we got all PVMs for all 4 of our channels." I'm like, oh my God, I was excited, man. I'm like, man, God, I wish I was playing.
Yeah, we're pro now. Let's go.
Speaking of pros, though, right? These two players certainly pros. A former world champion on the left, a 3-time regional winner on the right.
There are so few former world champions, and then so many less that are active now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so really a rare sight to see. Great to have Eric back here in top 48 in round 0.
Yeah, and of course, these two in particular, I don't know if we mentioned this already, but these two have never played a matchup before. This is their first meeting here, and it's been a hot one. Much like with some of these other first-time meetings and matchups that we've had here. This one, certainly no exception.
And I really feel like there's, they're kind of like from the same generation where there was like another wave of players that took up the game after Joseph.
Yeah.
And they were, at the time they were tappers when they started, and now this is like their resurgence. They went away for a while, and then maybe they changed their play style. Now they're both rolling or doing a different style, and it's great to see that they stuck around and they're back and better than ever.
Yeah, absolutely. They definitely look in prime form. And again, definitely, TetrisTime has definitely kind of surprised me in the, in fact, winning 3 regionals and everything. When King had first booked him for the the recent friendly super show that you and I were both a part of.
Yep,
the
I remember
Reckoning
that.
when they had him up against SV for the heavyweight championship. And at first when King had booked that, I'm like, really, TetrisTime, right? And then but then he ended up winning 3 regionals, and I'm like, oh, okay, yep, I see it now. I can see it. Yeah. So, but right now, Eric in a bit of a bind, barely gets that J over to the left side, is back by about a Tetris and change.
But yeah, another part of TetrisTime's grind, not just the live events, but doing online stuff too.
Yeah.
Like that's just the dedication, and day in, day out, you see the improvement.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's like I said, he has really turned on another year this year in 2025. He'll get a Tetris there to go to 255. Score for Eric is 213, so they are pretty close here,
Pretty
right?
close,
About
yeah.
a Tetris and change.
Eric with a slight hole there, but otherwise their boards are clean.
And TT with a couple long bar dependencies.
Yeah, and Eric with the tuck dependency there gets the right piece, tucks it right in, keeps it clean.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's just it's always fascinating watching how players solve these situations, right? Just,
sometimes they'll do something.
It's usually stuff that I wouldn't think of. So,
Exactly, exactly. That's pretty satisfying. It's like, oh, okay, that's the other plan
that's
all
cool,
along.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I should steal that. Like, I should try that. But there is actually a tool that I do, not a sponsor, right? So I want to shout out, our friend Ansel, right? Was a gold bracket competitor. I forget if he was in 2024 as well, but I know for a fact 2023 he was. He spent a lot of time over these last few months working on a Nestris.org website where you're able to, he's got all these puzzles kind of akin to chess, right? He's like, hey, where would you put these 2 pieces? And then they kind of get a sense of, what some of the best placements are. And now, while I don't necessarily agree that there's only one correct answer, however, what I do love is that it forces you to think more about what you're doing, right? I think it kind of makes you think a lot more critically.
And you can actually set things up once you know, like, a solution that you might not have thought of before. Nice, dirty Tetris there from TetrisTime. Another unorthodox line clear, doing that dirty Tetris, like, not only off the ground, but, a center wall as well.
Right. Yeah. And certainly, a lot of players, they do use, like I said, it's a tool that a lot of players use nowadays, right? To, really just up their stacking abilities, right? And, it's always crazy just what, people come up with. It's always crazy to see.
Yeah. And as, the years go by, players get better and better at finding these unorthodox solutions. And, that's the next level play that, we see. And when we think of, like, okay, well, how much better are they going to be a year or two from now? It's that sort of thing that could be it. Interesting.
Man.
Oh,
wow.
He's saying
it's
aggressive.
Dirty Tetris for TT. Nicely done.
Yeah, that was an aggressive move. It wasn't necessary, but he saw the possibility.
He saw the
and
vision.
Made it happen. Yeah. Just challenging the Tetris gods there to. Wow. Okay. Got another dirty.
Right.
Just in time. Level 19. You don't want to have your board spiral out of control there.
Yeah, not a good time for that. And right now it is neck and neck. Only about a 1 Tetris difference.
Eric, with a lead now, 1 Tetris.
Yeah, Eric's tournament life on the line here. TT just needs a win to advance. Eric needing it to stay in it.
That right side just, had a long spire. Not dangerous, but, it's not the kind of thing you want to hang your long bar. Just one missed roll can lead to a top out. But yeah, Eric cashing in.
Oh, didn't decide to set it up. I saw Tetris. I saw the gears turning in his head. He was thinking about setting that up. Did not. And now he's going to find himself back by about 90,000 points. But he's set up. There's the long bar. There's the Tetris, a simul one.
Yeah. Both players have a lot of momentum here. TetrisTime looking for that next win to take it. And Eric doing great right now, maintaining a lead to stay in this. Former world champion. As I said, not many left, and in terms of being active, Man,
just barely whipping those pieces to that left side. There we go, Tetris TT, Tetris Eric. It is pretty close in terms of lines. So it's really, honestly, it's going to come down to whether somebody makes a major mistake or 29 play, right, or both, really.
Mm-hmm. And we know they're both capable, and there we had that crazy failed chase down by TetrisTime, where it's like, the amount of time he was in.
Oh, another
nice
dirty Tetris.
Yeah, that was excellent. So, yeah, TetrisTime definitely being resourceful in getting those Tetrises wherever he can.
Yeah, and that's honestly, sometimes that's what it takes. And there we go, another Tetris for him. It is a 2 Tetris difference.
Yeah, I actually do think the whole, Tetris Time doing Tetris thing, Tetris Time doing Tetris Time things is something that makes you stronger for being able to survive things that no one else can.
Yeah.
That's like a power.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because a lot of times I find myself baffled watching what he's doing a lot of times, but but it works. Don't question it. It works.
And his first run, we would be just like, oh, well, that didn't turn out well. But now we're seeing like the fruits of that, those attempts to survive, pay off. Yeah.
Man, we are starting to approach the 29.
Oh, nice tuck. Whoa! Eric with like some crazy compound tucking there.
Wow, that was a really good solve there. I love that.
And it took all that skill for the execution. Excellent moves by EricICX there. Proving why he's a former world champion in real time.
Yeah, absolutely. But here we go. It is a 15,000 point difference.
Yeah, the gap has closed.
Yeah, we are fast approaching 29. Tetris Time at level 28 is trying to find
jagged.
the dependency.
Does the risky thing and keeps it open. Boom, Tetris for Tetris Time.
It's going to open up a lead there, about a touch to change.
Getting dependent, though.
Oh, Eric, too, though. This board is not looking too hot.
How are they going to handle the transition? Okay, Tetris Time is good, starts burning down. Eric is way up there. He got the long bar and the L, and yes, is able to do the flat burn.
Oh,
it
my
grinds
gosh.
down those line clears.
Oh, gets the J over. Oh, my goodness.
Excellent execution by Eric there.
Yeah, wow, just bringing this down.
Wow.
Meanwhile, TT's got about a 50,000 point lead and is going to take the safe triple there.
Okay, Eric.
Eric.
Side drop.
Eric.
That is tough. And that's going to fall out of control. Tetris Time takes the win.
And has defeated the former world champ. Your 3-time regional winner, Tetris Time, will punch his ticket to the top 32.
And yeah, just both those players are just so decorated in terms of their skill. Like you couldn't predict that outcome.